So hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm thrilled to see all of you this Thursday evening. Wow, we have a great turnout tonight, and um, rightfully so, because I think we're going to share something with you that is really cool. That is going to make your life easier, make your students' lives easier, facilitate a lot of what we talk about here at Modern Classrooms. So we always like to start about, a minute or two after the hour, just in recognition that people do get here, um, you know, at the time they get here. But I would love if people could just introduce themselves in the chat. Would love to know where you are, what you teach. It's fun to see that. I think we often have people from all over the place, and I always love seeing that. We got people joining, by the minute. Um, so welcome, welcome. We'll start 1 minute from now. All right. Great turnout on this a Thursday evening in December. I was a little worried about turnout, but needlessly so. I know we have some of the most committed educators everywhere, and the proof is right here in the participant list in the chat. Um, Thank you all so much for being here. And I do ask, just since we're on a meeting, that people just stay on mute if you don't mind. We will have lots of time for questions, and in fact, breakout rooms with some of our experts. So you'll have plenty of time to ask questions, and that's a big goal of ours, is to answer questions. Okay, wonderful. Please feel free to continue introducing yourselves. I'm sure we'll have people trickle in, but I want to make sure we're making the best use of the time. So let's go. Let me just give a quick introduction of the agenda. We are going to spend a little time introducing ourselves and sort of introducing why we're here. Erin, who is a modern classroom educator who uses this tool every day in her class, is going to give us a demo of how it works. I'm going to walk everyone through the setup here. I'm going to give everyone like a quick start guide to help you get started actually using this. You will have some time to access the tool, to play around with it, to go into a breakout room, and we, with people who know it really well, we'll have lots of time for questions and next steps. So why don't we move to introductions? I'm Rob. I'm the co-founder and chief product officer at Modern Classrooms. I was a high school math teacher for many years before my current role. Erin, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, my name is Erin Conrad. I teach 7th and 8th grade science at a middle school in Santa Rosa, California, which is just north of San Francisco.
Wonderful. And Donna, I will turn it over to you.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm going to introduce myself and then tell you a little bit about Wavio Pulse, the progress tracker we're presenting. Hi everyone, and welcome to the webinar. We're so glad you could join us today. I'm Dana Kravchik. I'm co-founder and CEO of Wavio, and I'm joined here today by Andy Choi, who is the co-founder and CTO of Wavio. We founded. Can you switch to the next one?
Of course.
Thanks. We founded Wavio because as parents, we've seen firsthand the incredible power of self-paced mastery-based learning had on our kids. And we decided we wanted to do everything that we can to make this model sustainable and scalable for all classes. And so I'll give you a little intro about Andy. He's the brain behind the technology you're going to see today. He's our CTO and lead developer and has years of experience building amazing and very successful software tools that were used by millions of people. My background is actually neuroscience research, and I focus on working with educators like you to make sure that Wavio really meets your needs and helps you achieve your teaching goals. So earlier this year, we learned about Modern Classroom project, and we realized how deeply our mission in Wavio and our values are aligned with the principles of this beautiful organization and community. And that's why we spent the past few months working closely with a group of 20 DMCs that in order to develop this brand new progress tracker that we call Wavio Pulse. So Wavio Pulse is going to be completely free for all teachers. We're committed to making mastery-based learning accessible to everyone. So this is a free version to everybody. And what you'll see inside is a tool that is going to help you to really effortlessly track your student progress. We designed the software to be very user-friendly and make the interface simple and easy to use. It's going to make your year-to-year continuity very fluid. So you can say goodbye to recreating trackers every year. The Wavio Pulse tracker will allow you to keep all your content in one place and really just replace your student roster year to year. In addition, you'll be able to keep all your trackers in one place. So and one new thing that we're really excited about that we added to the tracker is the student side, because we really believe in the importance of empowering students to feel that they are driving their learning and really take power of that. So you'll hear more about that from Erin and the other educators in the room, and also from Rob. But what I do want to say is that students have a dedicated space to view their progress in the Wavio Pulse. They will have their own interface where you could also send them feedback. Yeah, I'm super excited to share this incredible tool with you today. And now I'm going to pass it over to Erin, that she's going to give you a deeper dive into the platform where you could see it in action. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Donna. And yes, at Modern Classrooms, we certainly believe in show, don't tell. So Erin, you use this every day. Show us how it works.
There we go. All right. So, like I said, I teach 7th and 8th grade science. So what I'm going to show you today is one of my 8th grade units and one of my classes. So when I log into the Pulse window, I get to set up my units. So I have my unit 0, and then overall I have 3 units of study lined up with 3 trimesters. So if I open up one of my units, you can build lessons within the unit. I view lessons as like teaching a standard from beginning to end. So my lessons are very, very long. It takes like a week and a half to get through a lesson. And then once I have the lesson idea, then I'm going to break it down into my activities. So all of the things that are listed here on the screen are the activities that the students are going to do. On the right-hand side, I have the option to put in links and descriptions, which are helpful when the students get to view this. I can choose whether or not I'm actually going to track the assignment, because some of these are assignments that I want the students to do, but I'm not necessarily going to check them. I can indicate if they're must-dos, should-dos, or aspire-to-dos. And once I create them, I can easily drag them up and down when I need to reorder them. The thing that I love about the tracker that makes my life so easy is that it automatically numbers all of my assignments. And if I change where the assignment is, it thinks for me and renumbers them conveniently for me. So this is Unit 2, Lesson 1, Activity 1, Activity 2, etc. Once I have all of this set up, then I can choose how I want to interact with this. And so I can, let me flip over and make sure. Sorry. I go to my trackers. And this is what Donna was talking about like when we use the spreadsheet view, Remember, we had to open up a new spreadsheet for every class period or every prep. This has it all in one place. So I can easily switch between my 7th grade class, my 8th grade class, and even the university level class that I teach. So let's say I go into my 3rd period class. My first view is a snapshot of the lessons that we're currently on, and it shows me where all of my students are in each of the assignments. I can change my view and I can look at it instead by learner. So I can look to see where each student is at. And I have this lovely color-coded grid. Green means that they've mastered it. Yellow means that I've indicated that the student needs to revise it. And then white or gray means that they haven't started it yet, they're working on it. From my end, if I wanted to update a student, I can just click on the box, set the status to whatever they are, and it will automatically change that. Now you also see that there's some gray triangles. We're going to get to that in a second. That's where the student has indicated that they're done. The last view that I have on my screen is a different like pacing view where I can update the students' progress by just using a check mark or the circle for revision or adding feedback. Personally, I find it easier to do it on this view, but that's a personal choice. Something that I love about this view in particular is that if I've gotten to an assignment where most of the students probably have shown mastery, I can set the status so that all have mastered and then go back and change just those few that need to revise or haven't started yet. You know, on the spreadsheet, we used to look at that and just go X, 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 X down. It's the same thing, only this does it all in one click, which makes my life that much easier. So I've been using this version of the tracker all year long. And just recently, like this week, the student interface has opened. So I'm going to walk you through that one really fast of what it looks like to be a student in one of my classes. So I'm going to pick on this kid. When they open it up, it actually shows them all of the units. And I've told them, like, I've been using this all the way along. So you'll see unit 0, unit 1, unit 2. When they click on unit 2, they see where they are at now. And when they've finished an assignment, they can check it off that they've done it. And that helps them keep track of the things that they've done. When they get to an assignment that needs my feedback, they can turn it in and then they'll see, let me see if I can find one that'll do it. They'll see this gray dot or gray circle with 3 black dots. That indicates to them that they're waiting for my feedback. When I review the assignment, I can give them feedback and they would see either the green circle with a star that tells them they've mastered it, or the yellow circle with the little swirly arrow that says that they need revision. On the yellow one, if that turns into like a little chat bubble, when they click on it, they'll see feedback from me about what they need to change or improve upon, and that helps them. When they've done that revision, they can check again, and it will send me back that notification in my tracker view that the assignment is ready for them to review. I feel like that's just about everything. Donna and Rob, what did I miss?
Aaron, thank you for thank you for sharing this. And we're gonna walk through some steps and give people time to play around and give more detail. But I hope what you see is that if you're a teacher, this helps you really organize your students' progress in one place, kind of like an online grade book, but really just devoted to this self-paced, mastery-based learning, much more visual, I think much easier to use, easier to see. So it's powerful as a teacher tool. I think once you add what Aaron has added with the student interface, I always felt in my career, I used Blackboard, I used Canvas, I used Google Classroom, I used PowerSchool, and I used Moodle. So I used a bunch of different LMSs, And I was always trying to get them to like fit into what I wanted. This is almost like a learning management system that is just designed for this style of learning, and it's free for you to use. So, I hope you can see why we're so excited to share it. I'll say, of course, that like any
Rob, I don't think we can hear you.
I, oops,
We can hear you now, if
why
that
don't I
helps.
change my microphone here? Um, Yell if you can't hear me. Um, I think, we want to get you started, give you a taste, show you how this works, let you play around with it, and go into some breakout rooms to set it up. Donna, anything you'd like to add before we sort of get into like the actual setup process?
No, let's go ahead and let's give people a try. This
All
was,
right, let's
thank
go
you,
ahead.
Eric.
And
Thanks.
I forgot to share something, by the way, which is that we are going to give out a little swag at the end of this webinar. So you don't just get a free tracking tool, but you will get the opportunity for some stickers and some MCP swag. Very important to share that. Okay. I want to walk you through the setup steps quickly, and I'm gonna talk through them quickly. I'm gonna demonstrate them in a pretty quick way, and I'm gonna give you a guide to sort of follow along. So if you are someone who likes to sort of follow along while I do it, you can. If you're someone who likes to just get the instructions, let me do it, and I'm not even gonna listen to Rob, that's cool too. If you want to just watch and do it later, that works as well. The basic steps we're going to take, and there are a lot of steps, but each of them is really quite simple, is first you're going to decide how you want to use it. Are you going to use this just for yourself or in the recommended way, which is with your students? You're going to create a course, just like Aaron did. You're going to add some content. I'll show you how easy it is to add content. You'll classify your content. Must do, should do, aspire to do, figure out what you're going to grade, what you won't grade. You'll add your classes. If you use Google Classroom or Clever, this is like super easy. It's one click to do. You'll figure out what the pacing is going to be. You'll customize your display settings a little bit, figure out what shows up, and then you're ready to track students' progress. So even though that's 8 steps, a lot of these steps are really going to go by pretty quickly. And then once you're set up, you can help students track their own progress with this student view that Aaron demonstrated. Let me give everyone, I'm going to give you a link. Whoops, and now I'm going to give you a link in the chat to copy our quick start guide. Let me make sure that it's accessible first. So okay, yes, good. I'm going to put a link in the chat to copy. I'll put it one more time. I see a lot of comments, so I just want to make sure people can see this. This is the link to copy the quick start guide. So every step I demonstrate here, which will be recorded, is also in this guide for you to set up. Okay, let me sort of show you how to get set up before we try it out. I have created an account. I'm going to set up a course. So let's say I taught a course that was in entrepreneurship. This is how easy it is to set up a course. First unit, I would say intro to entrepreneurship. How many lessons does it contain? 3. Okay. That's one step already. Pretty easy. From there, adding classes. You can see that lessons are pre-filled. Every lesson has a mastery check. So I kept my lessons pretty simple. Every lesson had a video. Every lesson had practice. Every lesson had an extension. And I think Aaron showed sort of the drag and drop. Oops, I'm getting all confused now. Video, practice, extension, mastery check. And I really only graded the mastery checks. So this button here, you'll see this in the quick start guide. Anything that should be graded, I will turn on. Anything that's not, I won't. Change these little things. Again, I realize I'm throwing a lot at you. I just want to give a sense of sort of how this gets set up. Okay. Here we go. Let me just add like a couple more. Let me add one more lesson because then I think it will help to show you. Practice and whoops. And, okay, so it's pretty easy to add things. If I want to add descriptions or links, I can do that here. Make my extensions aspire to. All right. My content is here. Now what I need to do is classify that content. So I've determined what I want to grade. I've determined must do, should do, and aspire to do. I've got to add my students here. So each of us teaches courses. We have different classes for those courses. I'll go to classes, and I'm just going to add a couple classes. Class name, I'll say first period. Let me add another one. Second period. And then I've got to add my students. Now, if I have Google Classroom or something, it's, Donna, where do I find the Google Classroom button here?
When you go back to classes and you
Yeah.
create a new class, that was supposed to be there. Sorry. Can you click on the plus name?
If you
Sorry.
logged in via just an email address, I think, then you won't have this option. So it's only if
Okay.
you log in via Google that you'll get this option.
Oh, thanks,
Okay.
Sandy.
So in that case, let me show you how this looks for, I was creating sort of a test account. Let me switch to a different account where I can show you how to do it. So I could import a class from Google Classroom. It's as simple as that. Just import. Also, students can create accounts here. So if you look at the quick start guide, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but if you look at a quick start guide, there are a couple different ways to add your classes. In the breakout room, this is maybe something that would be good to talk with the people you go into the breakout room with, to figure out how to add classes. Okay. Let me just show you quickly how this looks. So here I am. Where should I be in a class? I can set suggested pacing for the course. And actually, let me do something different. I might have a class. This is different from the class that I just set up, but this is a class nonetheless. I might have a course with multiple classes. If I go to suggested pacing, I can set different due dates for each class. So if I have kind of like an A day, B day schedule, I could say, this is the suggested due date. For class 1 is the 16th. For the other class, it's the 17th. I could do sort of like this, or they could be the same, but this is where I set suggested pacing. So students always know what's on pace. So now that I've done this is the setup. Adding content, adding students, setting suggested paces. Let's see what I have here. I now have a tracker. Whoops. Let me figure out which class I want to use for this. I now have a tracker, and I will see sort of what Aaron had showed. For you, when you do this, everyone's going to be over here, just starting here. But with each of my students, I simply can select, okay, Rob mastered this. Rob needs to revise, etc. And I can also do that from this update tab, which Aaron showed. So what I really wanted to focus on here was the sort of setup steps. And I know this was a really quick run through, the quick start guide, which I'll put in the chat one more time, can help you do this. But I've basically set up a class in 5 minutes, and that's what I want to demonstrate is you can get a class set up pretty quickly here. As I said earlier, we do really believe in show don't tell here. So what we're going to do is now spend a little time going into breakout rooms where you can go through the quick start guide, where you can get set up, where you can learn how to use the tracker, where you can ask technical questions, where you can spend time in a smaller setting with someone who can help answer your questions. I actually think we have a lot of people here. And Samantha, I'm wondering if we could actually double the breakout rooms because we have so many people here. Um, if we could go to 6 rooms, because I think we have 6 hosts, no?
We actually have 9 hosts.
We have 9 hosts.
And
Can we?
so, yeah, I've got 9 rooms ready to go.
Oh, perfect. So let's say rooms 1 to 3 will be about getting started. Rooms 4 to 6. Actually, I think we're gonna have a lot of people getting started. So rooms.
Rob, I actually have them pre-assigned, and
Oh,
so
good.
so then the co-host could be kind of the expert in the room, unless you'd like me to just make it open.
No, great. Samantha, maybe you could just explain how we'll do breakout rooms.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So I'm gonna open up all of our rooms here in just a moment, and we've got one of our co-hosts assigned to each of these rooms. There will be, right now we got about between 12 and 14 people in each room, and so you can go into that room, you can silently explore the tool if you'd like, but you can also discuss that tool with your co-host. You can ask questions, ask them how they've used it in their classroom. And so that is just, how long will we go into those rooms for, Rob?
Let's spend about 15 minutes. Let's spend 18 minutes in those rooms.
Awesome.
We'll be back at 45.
Cool. And I will send out a broadcast announcement to those rooms about a minute beforehand. And so then that way, we're going to start wrapping things up and we'll be coming back to the main room.
Thank
Great.
you. And can I add something? For the co-host, probably put like a co-host or something next to your name so people know who to reach out to, right? Cool, thanks.
All right, let's go.
Away we go. Hello, we are just exploring the tool right now. They just shared a quick start guide, and I can grab that link for you and share it in the chat.
And then just talk a little bit more about how the student side works to sort of get your heads thinking about what's possible here for students. Let me share my screen here. Where? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So a quick review of the setup steps. First, you want to decide how you use it, right? Is this your posted on the board progress tracker? Is this your better LMS? Create a course, add your content to it, classify that content, figure out what you're grading, what you're not, must do, should do, aspire to do. Add your classes, a couple different ways of doing that. Add your suggested pacing here by class. Customize the display settings. We didn't go into depth here, at least in the whole group setting, but I know that this is something that's, you'll see it in the quick start guide. It's worth taking time to make sure this looks the way you want it to look. And then you're ready to track student progress. That new step that I had showed is about helping students track their own progress. And I wanted to make sure I spend a little time just showing you what Wavio tells us capable of doing from the student view. And this will be reiterating Aaron's demonstration a little bit, but I want to show in a little more depth. So what I have here on the left-hand side of my screen is the teacher view. What I have on the right-hand side of the screen is the student view for a unit. And this is the Rob test student. So let's say that Rob test student is, starting a new unit on trigonometry, and he completes the video. Well, let's see. Oops. You'll see that let's say he completes the video and the notes. I think this will be a little easier for me to explain here. Let me refresh. Oops. Sorry. Okay, he's completed the video and the notes. And if I refresh here, uh-oh. What happened? Sorry about this. Everything, I tested this. Oops, sorry. Let me sign back. Okay. Here we go. Okay, I'm on unit 2 here. Unit 2. Okay, so Rob should see here that there is this gray triangle. This means for Rob, this means I as a teacher can see that this needs to be graded. I can click here. I can set the status to master. Now, if I refresh on the student side, I should see that I see that it's mastered, right? There's a little bit of communication here between what the student sees and what the teacher sees. And so as a teacher, it should be really easy for me to go in here and look, to go in here and look and see what I need to review, what it is that I need to grade. The teacher can also add a little bit of feedback if I want. So if I edit this, I can add feedback. Oh yeah, add feedback. I can say, great work, student. Save this, update it. Now here's what the student will see. I should click here. I see the feedback. Really nice and easy way for the teacher to give feedback on student work. One thing I can do for Rob, if I like, I can make him an expert. Now, if I refresh here, I see that I'm an expert. Nice little animation. So this is just a nice way to recognize students who are great and identify for the class students who can be helpful answering questions, right? Students can navigate this really easily. There's a nice map icon that tells students where to go. You can see that this student actually should be still working on unit 1. I've just jumped ahead because it's cleaner to demonstrate things in the new unit here. One thing you might wonder is, why is 2.1.1 not showing here, or 2.1.3? As a teacher, you may have things you want students to do that are not going to be graded. And so you only see the things in this tracker that you're going to grade, right? This other stuff is sort of practice for students to do, but other things won't show up in here. If I want, I can go back to courses. If I want the video to show, I just click this button. Now I go back to my trackers. Oops. And I see that the video now appears as something to be tracked. I can set the status to revise. Refresh here. The student will see that I need to revise. So this is, again, I want to give sort of a brief demonstration, just showing what's possible. And there's more in the quick start guide, but I do want to make a little pitch for you. Doing the student account takes a little bit of time to actually figure out. But, I hope you can see this is pretty powerful, super easy experience for the student here, and a nice way for the teacher to keep track of the student's progress. By the way, just as a teacher, if I'm in this pre-calculus test class, I can always check out what the student sees just right here. I should be able to see that these two things look exactly the same. So with that said, I see the chat's got a lot of questions and comments. I think there's going to be a lot more questions and comments just about this tool because it is so powerful. I want to share a couple things. First, I want to put the survey in the chat so everyone can give feedback and be entered to win swag. Let me put this in the chat now. I'll put this in the chat. So please take a minute to do this survey. Not only will you be helping the team, improve this tool, but you have the chance to win some swag. And in the last couple minutes, I want to turn it over to you, Donna, just to share what can people do with questions? How can they learn more? How can they get support as they do this? What can people's next steps be after this webinar? So Donna, let me hand that over to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Rob and Arian and all of the wonderful educators that help out in the breakout room and answer questions in the chat. I really appreciate that. And so we are going to have hands-on sessions starting tomorrow and also 4 more for next week. I'm going to put these in the chat right now. Give me 1 second. So you can register to them and join me and ask anything you want as you're trying out this tool. So here it is in the chat. The other thing that you could do is in the system itself, Rob, if you can share for a second, Wavio, you see there's a little question mark next to Rob's profile picture. This is the help center where you could have a lot of documentation on how to use Wavio Pulse. In addition, we're going to send you the quick check guide with all the videos here. There are a lot of videos here as well, and a lot of explanations on how to use everything. And of course, you can email me. I'm going to put my email in the chat here, Donna at mywavio. Sorry. So, and you can also, just put time on my calendar to talk to me. And this is in this link here on the slide. Rob, could you copy this to the chat? Sorry.
Sorry, which link?
Oh, actually, I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is another link to just meet with me personally. I also wanted to let you know that our privacy. I know a lot of you asked about privacy concerns because your district might not approve you to use this. So you can access our privacy policy in our website, which is mywavio.com. I'm also adding a link here to our privacy policy. We currently have agreements with Connecticut, California, Massachusetts. Well, I'm going to put all the states instead of me trying to figure out all the different shortcuts because I'm not, as you could tell by my accent, I'm not, I wasn't born here. So I actually don't remember all the shortcuts. So here are all the states that we have agreements with, and we're also are in progress to get an agreement with New York City Department of Education. So that's coming very soon. If any of you, I know some of you asked about that. Will this be formatted for cell phones? I don't know. That's a very interesting question, Cassandra. Anybody else has questions or anything else? Oh, I see.
There is, Donna, just one other thing I'll share, which is, you
Yes.
guys saw this wasn't the smoothest, perfect, demonstration of this. That's because this is the first demonstration of this, right? We've been testing the tool in teachers' classrooms for months. There are teachers like Amy, like Aaron, who have been using this, enjoying it. I mean, some of the feedback we're getting has been all the feedback we're getting has been really positive. There are still bugs, there are still kinks. We're still working it out. One day when thousands of teachers all over the world are using this tool, you'll be able to say that you were at the first webinar where it was fully demonstrated. But you may also have to just put up with some growing pains as the platform grows. I know that the educators here who were leading the breakout rooms would have seen more growing pains, right? They've stuck with it because they see the benefits of it. So, you want a feature, let us know, please. You encounter an issue, let us know. We want to make this work really well for you. But it is, in its infancy. So I hope you'll have some patience with us as we figure out how to make it the best possible platform for all of you and for your learners.
Yeah. And I would add here that we have record bug fixing turnout. So we fix them within the day sometimes. So just wanted to let you know. And yeah, excited. Yeah, if there are any questions before we close, I see. I mean, we signed with all of Virginia State, so your district will have to just talk to me privately, and I'll share which agency we signed with, and then your district can talk to them. And then we have, I see.
Yeah, and this, the privacy needs, like, this is one of those growth areas, right? We're not yet Canvas or Google Classroom. Michelle, if the state is not, well, I'll let Donna answer that question, but like, you want us to speak with someone in your district or in the state or something, like, email the Wavio team.
Yeah.
Because Donna, you or Andy can answer about whether
Yeah.
teachers can use it in other states, but we want to make this as good a tool as possible for all of you.
So, so we are compliant with FERPA and COPA, and basically, if you can access Wavio Pulse in your school, then go ahead and use it. And if you need any notifications from us to let the parents know, we have everything you need. If you need if you need to ask your district to approve us, we have all the documents in place to make that happen. So just, send an email to your IT person and CC me, and we'll make this work. I see somebody asking, is Arizona on the list? I don't think so. No, I don't think we have that, Arizona.
But as I think a few people have said in the chat, they've tried it in other places, and it has worked. Like, you
Yeah.
can use it. What I would say is, if you want to use this and you know, you're not sure whether your state's on the list or not, can't hurt to mention it to your administrator, to your IT department, right? We would never want to encourage you to, you know, use a tool that your school or district is not comfortable with. I know we have teachers in states beyond the ones that have been listed that have had those conversations, that have, you know, gotten the sign off to use it in other places, and they're using it. So I wouldn't say that, you know, your state needs to be on this list in order to use it. You can use it if you think it's going to work. You can start using it tomorrow. I
Yeah.
do encourage you just to run it by your administration.
Yeah. Yeah, I added the list mainly because some people it's blocked for them. So if it's blocked for you, then definitely if those agreements are in place, it's going to be a lot easier to get it faster. But in any case, we do have all the documentations you need. Yay. Great. Let's see more
Are in
questions.
New York, Connecticut,
Sorry?
California, are those states that have it in place or states that you're talking with?
In New York and California, we have it in place. But
Oh,
when New York City specifically requires a different.
oh yes, there's a difference between New York State and the city. I
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah.
You have to get,
Yeah.
because I was excited and then I got stopped.
Yeah, but New York City actually is in the process. They already sent us what they need and it will be done very soon. So no worries there. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. It is a you know, it's a Thursday evening at the end of December. You know, after a long semester, maybe for many of you a long week. I know it has been for me. Just want to thank you all again for being here. And this is the beginning of, you know, this process, not the end. So share with your colleagues, share with your administration, share your feedback with us, share with your students, use it. You know, we're going to send you a follow-up with the recording and other information so you can use this. And, you know, we're going to do this again, this webinar again in January for people who couldn't make it today. So spread the word. You know, we want this to be a tool that helps you. Thank you all. Thank you all again for coming.
Thank you.
Good night, good evening.